All right, guys, we made it through all the content. Congratulations, you've seen it. Now it's time to put your all of your knowledge to work and practice reviewing in preparation for the AP test if you're choosing to do so. So here's an email I sent out 2 weeks into the school. I wish I had sent this out again when we did distance learning. So this is something really important that hopefully you've utilized. Okay? So the first thing is I just really enjoyed working with you guys all year long. It's been awesome. Okay? And I think a lot of you guys have modeled this all year long, seen a little bit of struggles during distance learning, but here are some things to think about. Okay? You can learn anything you want to, no matter how hard if you want it, you can do it. So when you've been frustrated, do you persevere? So hopefully, how is that going? Okay, we got a couple more weeks, 2 more weeks. Our test is the 14th. Hey, whoops. All right, so next Thursday so we're in our final push for that. So if you really want to, and I've seen lots of you say, hey, I want to do well on that AP test. It may be challenging, it may be frustrating that we're not able to meet in person, but we can do this, we can persevere. So if that's something you want, you got to challenge yourself and you have to do. When you fail, you got to put yourself out there. You're going to be wrong at times, but then you're going to learn from that. Okay? Ask your parents, myself, we've had a little more experience than you in our lives. I know my failures stick out, and I've learned the most from those. And again, your effort and attitude determine everything. How your attitude is and how your effort are going to matter. Everything else doesn't really matter, but those 2 things, you can make it work. Now, you may have certain challenges, but then we can try and find out what can your effort and attitude make to tackle those challenges. Okay? Sometimes your mindset may be over here, and so that's what we have to think about to get away from that and go over to here to the growth mindset things. Okay? Again, hopefully you're getting some support at home or from your peers. So find out, talk to some friends, see how they're doing inside of that. I loved our quotes from the beginning of the year. Hey, you've not failed when you've done something wrong. You've just learned a way that it doesn't work. So we've seen that in some physics problems, so keep going. Again, mistakes are learning opportunities. So really try to learn. You're going to make mistakes when you learn. And again, failure isn't lethal, but failure to change can be. If you're struggling, hey, if what you're doing isn't working, that's okay. You've just learned something. But change that if you want to prepare. If you feel like you haven't learned much in the last couple weeks, try and change something. Figure out a way you can do that. Okay? So again, I really love working with you guys this year. One of your homework pieces for this week is figuring out how you have actually done some of these things. And here's how we're going to do that. Right? So I know we're big on grit. You've seen that in your CCT classes. I want to see how you've done grit in AP Physics because I think you've probably had to do that. So here are some quotes that I found about grit. Why do naturally talented people frequently fail to reach their potential while other far less gifted individuals go on to achieve amazing things? The secret is not talent, but it's a passionate persistence. In other words, grit. And I've seen that so many with some of you during this school year. Okay? You have that passionate persistence. Someone may be better at something naturally than you, but you are passionate and you are persistent and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. And so I've seen that. So also I really like this. Grit means you have the courage and show your strength of character. Right? So you have goals. So if that goal is the AP test, I want to know how you're going to use grit and how you've used grit to do that. If that's not your goal, I'm not going to force you to do that. Pick anything that you want to talk about in the next couple weeks and talk about how you've either used grit up to that or what you're going to do to use grit to move forward. Right? So again, just using this piece, a person with true grit has passion and perseverance. Goals are set and followed through. So figure out what your goal is. Okay? And then you need to talk about how you've done grit with that. So my example is I've wanted to stay healthy during this. I know the refrigerator and the TV are great distractors for me. And so I've tried to set up a schedule to work out 3 times a week. So I've done Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's really been hard to do, but I've persevered even when I have to stay up late doing something or taking care of my kids. So I have to get up early, but this is something I've been able to do. Now, the refrigerator, has taken away from that some, but luckily I'm working out to balance it out. So I've been really happy with that. I feel like it's something I have had grit in. There's your rubric on that, but should be a really easy assignment. I would love to hear how you guys do on that. Lastly, right, the next question on that quiz will be come up with a schedule during the week. So pretty much a week is based out of 21 blocks. Morning block, afternoon block, and evening. Now these are my times that I put for mine. I bet yours is quite a bit different time-wise than mine, but that's totally okay. So this week, one thing that you'll see is I'll have a live session Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we'll be going over some AP problems so you can log on and see. So this is our final push. So if you want to see some of these review things, please log on and kind of see what we have for that. Submit some free response times. So here you can see I'm reviewing your work to find out specifically what I can talk about for us. Okay. Here's a sample schedule that I have for you guys. Okay, so these could be some things during the week. If you want to take part in doing well on that AP test, it's going to take some concerted effort. So again, this is not that whole time, but break it up. So maybe 30 minutes of working on some problems to get your brain going. And here's a couple different options that you could do. 5 Steps to a 5 has free questions now they've given it. Those live questions on YouTube are great. And I'll always give multiple choice progress checks. I think that could be really good to work on. I'll also be submitting study guides so you guys could see those. Here, participate in the live review sessions. Make sure you're asking questions. And always, whenever you're working on things, write down questions that you have so you can ask and I can go over it with you, or you can talk about it with a friend. And then make sure to submit your questions and then submit your schedule with whatever that looks like.